advanced. Hello! Oh yahoo! Good morning, Bigusi. Good morning, Foundation. Good morning, Niku the Meat. Good morning, Hiryu. Good morning, Larry-san. Good morning, Dustin. Good morning, Anomaly. Good morning, Azazel. Good morning, Kenneth. Good morning, Rafa. Good morning, Janiru. Good morning, Makun. Good morning, Corpse. Yahoo desu. I am Hoshi Koizumi, your local demon. Devil Hoshi. Yes. Yes. Oh yahoo desu. Today we will be reading some horror stories. No! So cute, Genie. Oh, it's demon. No, it's demon. No, wait a minute. Somehow she is lagging. Is she lagging? I am lagging. Is it the power of darkness? Not lagging for me. Oh, okay. Anna, Alex. Hello, Kenneth. Hello, Lance. Hello. Hello, Rai-san. Good morning. Say Ashu. Achoo. Well, you guys, I haven't sneezed on stream. I'm pretty proud about that. No, so today I have some creepy stories. Oh, thank you for the stars, Lance. Thank you. Wait. Should be right here. Probably right here. Okay. I am so not ready. I want to make my voice a little bit spooky. How is that? Okay, let me make myself a little bit smaller so we have space for the story. Oh, thank you, Lance. I appreciate it so much. Can you see my tail? So cute, right? My tail, look at my tail. So cute, huh? Hello, the Mexican guy. Thank you so much for their art. Here you, yahoo! No, just demon. Ma. So, how's everyone's Halloween so far? Me? I have no plans aside from reading some horror stories with you guys. Which is... So, actually, I haven't read any creepypasta stories before because, as you guys know, I'm Duwag. I'm Scaredy Cat. Hello, Project X! Not so correct, Genie, no! Hello, Lexbert! Hello. Actually, so looks like one of the top creepypasta stories is this Russian sleep experiment. But it's so long. Like, maybe I can read this the last. And then maybe I can read this one. So Niku the Meat sent me a lot of stories, I guess. Jeff the Killer. I checked that, but it's super long. And Hoshi doesn't like reading, you know? That's why I'm currently neat. Ding. Hello, Jared. Hello, hello. If this is the old normal, would have visit relatives in cemetery, but for now, still home. Plus cabin for fever. You're right. Sosne. In the Philippines. Wait, in the Philippines, what date do we normally go to cemetery? Is it October 31 or November 1? Like from what I remember was November 1, but I was confused because November 1 is All Saints Day. And November 31st, I believe, is All Souls Day. October 31. Anyways, never mind. Oh, yeah. October 31. I see. November 1 and 2. Ooh. Mahilig sa bisperas mga Pinoy. Sosne. Christmas mismo sa 34 ginagawa eh. Oh really? My family only celebrates Christmas at 25 lunchtime. But I realized and I learned that some families always do it at Christmas Eve. But we only do New Year's Eve. Croissant horns! You're right! Mo! Hello, Kulikulio Saturn! Hello! How are you? Kokun! Hello, Kokun! Christmas a 24 party all night, right? Right! But our family celebrates it at lunchtime 25th. Scary story celebrate croissant. No, not succubus, no! Hello! Hello, Harold! Okay. I am so not ready. Okay. Okay. I believe let's start on something really short. Okay, let's try this. Ba-dum! Yes. Hello, Alex! Hello, Lex! Zell! Lex! Nalilito ako lagi sa Lex tsaka Zell. Lagot, naging demon na siya. Yes. I'm your local demon VTuber. Ding! Hoshino! Yahoo! Okay. Let's start! Apologies if my wings is too big, but just bear with it. Kokun didn't know you stream in FB. Oh, no problem. Thank you for dropping by the way. Lich or succubus? Just demon! This one is very spooky. Hoshi will end the stream because she's too scared. Really? Ah, you guys are scaring me. Okay. Let's start. I'm not sure if I'm excited or I don't know. This cute ghost is kind of like. Okay. Creepy morning. Creepy morning indeed. Okay. The woman in the oven. During the summer of 1983, in a quiet... Thank you for following, Dave! Okay. I want to make my voice a little bit spooky. How to make... Kunyari nabulong. During... I don't know. It's cringe! It's cringe, but I'll try. During the summer of 1983, in a quiet town near Minneapolis, Minnesota, the charred body of a woman was found inside the kitchen stove of a small farmhouse. The video camera was also found in the kitchen, standing on a tripod. Huh? Pointing at the oven. No tape was found inside the camera at the time. Although the scene was originally labeled as a homicide by police, an unmarked VHS tape was later discovered at the bottom of the farm's well, which had apparently dried up earlier that year. Despite its worn condition and the fact that it contained no audio, police were still able to view the contents of the tape. It depicted a woman recording herself in front of a video camera, seemingly using the same camera that the police found in the kitchen. After positioning the camera to include both her and her kitchen stove in its view, she turned on the oven, opened the door, crawled inside, and then closed the door behind her. After 8 minutes into the video, the oven could be seen shaking violently. At this point, thick black smoke emanated from it. For the remaining 40 minutes of video, until the batteries in the camera died, it remained its stationary position. To avoid disturbing the local community, the police never released any information about the tape or even the fact that it was found. Police were also not able to determine who put the tape in the well. Oh yeah, or why the height and stature of the woman in the video did not come close to matching the body that they found in the oven. What? Different body? I hate it already. I hate it. In 1983? So there's no camera tricks yet. No camera tricks. 1983. Maybe there is. Okay, let's check the the comments. One thing that makes me intrigued is how can the charred corpse of the woman and the woman in the video are two different people. Ooh. There's an audio version. Two different women and two different suicides. Oh, yeah. Maybe the suicide tape was found by someone. And then maybe she just copied her with an empty camera? Probably. Oh, but same oven. Spooky, isn't it? Spooks me too. It is. Okay, next. This one is creepy because there's a picture, you know? Okay, it's not that long. Oh no, the smiling man. Oh no, you guys know it. Okay, the smiling man. About 5 years ago, I lived downtown in a major city in the US. Hopefully not, it's not LA. I've always been a night person, so I would often find myself bored after my roommate, who was decidedly not a nice night person, went to sleep. To pass the time, I used to go for long walks and spend the time thinking. I spent 4 years like that, walking alone at night and never once had a reason to feel afraid. I always used to joke with my roommate that even the drug dealers in the city were polite, but all of that changed in just a few minutes of one evening. It was a Wednesday, somewhere between 1 or 2 in the morning. 1 or 2 in the morning, okay. And I was walking near a police patrolled park, quite a ways from my apartment. It was a quiet night, even for a weeknight, with very little traffic and almost no one on foot. The park, as it was most nights, was completely empty. I turned down a short side street in order to loop back to my apartment when I first noticed him. At the far end of the street on my side was a silhouette of a man dancing. It was a strange dance, similar to a waltz, but he finished each box with an odd forward stride. I guess you could say he was dance walking, headed straight for me. Deciding he was probably drunk, I stepped as close as I could to the road to give him the majority of the sidewalk to pass by me. The closer he got, the more I realized how gracefully he was moving. He was very tall and lanky and wearing an old suit. He danced closer still until I could make out of his face. His eyes were open wide and wild, head tilted back slightly, looking off at the sky. His mouth was formed in a painfully wide cartoon of a smile. Between the eyes and the smile, I decided to cross the street before he danced any closer. Creepy! I took my eyes off him to cross the empty street. As I reached the other side, I glanced back and then stopped dead in my tracks. He had stopped dancing and he was standing with one foot in the street, perfectly parallel to me. He was facing me but still looking skyward, smile still wide on his lips. I was completely and utterly unnerved by this. I started walking again, but kept my eyes on the man. He didn't move. Once I had put about half a block between us, I turned away from him for a moment to watch the sidewalk in front of me. The street and sidewalk ahead of me were completely empty. Still unnerved, I looked back to where he had been standing to find him gone. For the briefest of moments, I felt relieved until I noticed him. He had crossed the street and was now slightly crouched down. I couldn't tell for sure due to the distance and the shadow, but I was certain he was facing me. I looked away from him for no more than 10 seconds, so it was clear that he had moved fast. I was so shocked that I stood there for some time staring at him, and then he started moving toward me again. He took giant, exaggerated, tiptoed steps, as if he were a cartoon character sneaking up on someone, except he was moving very, very quickly. I'd like to say that at this point I ran away and pulled out my pepper spray or my cell phone or anything like that, but I didn't. I just stood there, completely frozen, as the smiling man crept toward me, and then he stopped again. About a car length away from me, still smiling his smile, still looking to the sky. When I finally found my voice, I blurted out the first thing that came to my mind. What I meant to ask was, "What do you want?" in an angry, commanding tone. What came out was a whisper, "What?" Regardless of whether or not humans can smell fear, they can certainly hear it. I heard it in my own voice, and that only made me more afraid. But he didn't react to it at all. He just standing there smiling. And then after that, it felt like forever. He turned around very slowly and started walking away. Just like that. Not wanting to turn back to him again, I just watched him go until he was far enough away to almost be out of sight. And then I realized something. He wasn't moving away anymore, nor was he dancing. I watched in horror as the distant shape of him grew larger and larger. He was coming back my way, and this time he was running. I ran too. I ran until I was off of the side road and back into a better lit road and sparse traffic. Looking behind me then, he was nowhere to be found. The rest of the way home, I kept glancing over my shoulders, always expecting to see his stupid smile, but he was never there. I lived in the city for 6 months after that night and never went out for another walk. There was something about his face and always haunted me. He didn't look drunk, he didn't look high. He looked completely and utterly insane, and that's very, very scary thing to see. What? I was expecting something like I don't know, an attack or something. There's a different version of the story of the smiling man. The ending for that one was the smiling man's presence was still felt even when the author is on their bed. Oh! Even at the comfort of their own home, the author still doesn't feel safe. Oh! I see. Well, that makes it more spooky. Yes? I see. What is this chicken dinner? Corbs, you talking about the Smile Dog, the original? Do we have the Smile JPEG, Niku? What is that? What is that? Is this based in real life? Is it? Hopefully it's not. No, it's not, Hoshi. What? They're not. Ooh! Nice! Nice! Okay, I feel more confident now. Still creepy though. I can't imagine myself seeing a man smiling at me. I'll be like, "What do you want? I know I'm pretty." Hello, Edric! I see. I see. Ahem. Okay, chicken dinner. Estimated reading time, 3 minutes. Probably 10 minutes for Hoshi. McDonald Building Creepypasta. Not yet. You want me to read that one too? Okay, after this. I only want to read short ones. And then the last one will be this Russian sleep experiment, which is super long. Okay. Winner, dinner, chicken, no winner, dinner, whatever. That one is good. Okay. Okay, yes, I'll read that. Russian sleep experiment looks like it's super popular for some reason. Oh, my nose, I want to sneeze. My nose is itchy. Okay, it's gone. Working at McDonald's is more scary than creepypasta. Have you worked with McDonald's before? My nose is super itchy. Okay. Chicken dinner. At a first-hand report of a story originally reported in the Montreal Mirror in 1964, a mother and father decided they needed a break, not having much alone time in the almost a year since their young son Toby was born. They wanted to have a night out, dinner, maybe a movie, and the honeymoon suite at a local hotel to possibly give Toby a little brother or sister. Ooh, honeymoon! They called their most trusted babysitter, who unfortunately was already engaged for the evening. But she did refer a good friend of hers. No! Opal, who she swore could be trusted. They spoke with the new babysitter and agreed to have her arrive no later than 6:30 so the parents could get an early start. As the parents got ready to paint the town red, Toby lay on the floor, gnawing on his teething ring in the den off to the back of the house. At shortly after 6:20, the father walked past the open doorway and saw an elderly woman sitting in the rocking chair facing the child, her back to the doorway. The father was slightly startled as his wife didn't mention the sitter had arrived. He spoke to her as he straightened his tie in the mirror on wall opposite the doorway. Oh my, I'm sorry I didn't hear you come in. We appreciate you coming on such short notice. My wife put some chicken in the oven for you. The numbers of the restaurant and the hotel are on the counter if you need to reach us. We will be home around 9 tomorrow morning. Goodbye, Toby. I love you. He hurried down the hallway as his wife was coming down the stairs. Meeting her at the bottom, his wife asked, "What were you saying, dear?" "Oh, nothing. I was just giving the sitter instructions. Now we should hurry so we can make our reservation on time," he replied, grabbing his coat as he unlocked the front door. They went to the car and were in such rush they didn't notice the car pull into the driveway. Not 15 seconds after they pulled out, they proceeded to have the best night out they could remember. The wife became somewhat concerned shortly after arriving at the hotel when she called home and no one answered. The husband calmed her as he pulled her into bed, kissing her neck. "Don't worry, dear. She's an older lady and it's almost 10. She must have gone to bed after putting Toby down." The husband gave his wife a confused look as she put a hand to her mouth and her face turned white. Wait, the husband gave his wife a confused... She put a hand to her mouth and her face... She threw open the front door calling out for her son. There was no reply. In fact, there was no sound at all in the house, just the smell of some burnt meat. She ran up the stairs as her husband raced to the back of the house and found the kitchen filled with smoke. He turned off the stove and used pot holders to grab the smoldering pan and charred meat and drop it in the sink. His wife came into the kitchen crying into her hands. "He's not here, Toby's gone." She took him. The husband took her in his arms as she cried. It was then that he noticed blood on the lid of the trash can. A pit formed in his stomach and he left his wife and opened the trash can. He exhaled and he realized that it was only the chicken his wife had made. It was then what his eyes shot wide open as his wife let out a fresh scream of horror. As he turned toward her, he caught sight of the melted remains of the teething ring on the bottom of the open oven. No! One of the comments said, "Predictable pasta was predictable." Digital campfire, you're right. Not the baby. Okay, McDonald's. Wait, someone mentioned about McDonald building. McDonald building. What did you do to the baby? How could you? Why me? It was not me. I won't harm babies. You guys harm baby Hoshi though. Now baby Hoshi is nowhere to be found. Is it this one? I protect baby Yoshi. Okay. You know what, guys? Let's just jump to the Russian Isuripu Experimento. Because I am very curious on this one. Real life influences. Does that mean this one is real? I don't know if I can handle something real though. Is it real? Is it based on real things? No. If it's based on real things, that is like times 10 creepier. Okay, let's do it. Overview. Widely regarded as one of the most popular and widespread creepypasta ever written, the Russian sleep experiment is notorious as much as the gruesome nature of its content as for its plausibility. To this day, a large portion of the articles written about story are attempts to investigate its validity or to debunk it as a hoax, something that speaks not only to the story effectiveness but also to the deeper societal anxieties to which the story appeals. For those who do not know, the Russian sleep experiment is supposedly factual account of experimentation acted out on subjects by the Soviet government and military in the wake of World War II. The experiment, ostensibly meant to explore the effects of sleep deprivation on human body, was also used to test a new gas that could keep people awake for days at that time. At the time, the report documents the generation of those experimented upon, individuals commonly referred to within the creepypasta community as the test subjects. The horrifying result of these experiments and the crazed also subhumans or demonic creatures it produces are often illustrated alongside the story, with one image in particular being representative of the entire myth. Okay. As Oh. Yeah, hello! Yeah, hello! Clark! Okay. Okay, so this one is also fictional, huh? Or is there a slight chance that it's also true? Sounds like, experiments at the time of World War II is kinda possible. Okay, Russian sleep experiment creepypasta story. Let's go! Russian researchers in the late 1940s kept 5 people awake for 15 days using an experimental gas-based stimulant. They were kept in a sealed environment to carefully monitor their oxygen intake so the gas didn't kill them, since it was toxic in high concentrations. This was before closed-circuit cameras, so they had only microphones and 5-inch thick glass porthole-sized windows into the chamber to monitor them. The chamber was stocked with books, cots to sleep but no bedding, running water and toilet, and enough dried food to last all 5 for over a month. The test subjects were political prisoners deemed enemies of the state during World War II. Everything was fine for the first 5 days. The subjects hardly complained of having been promised falsely that they would be freed if they submitted to the test and did not sleep for 30 days. Their conversations and activities were monitored, and it was noted that they continued to talk about increasingly traumatic incidents in their past, and the general tone of their conversation took on a darker aspect after the 4-day mark. Okay, we're still on the fourth day mark. After 5 days, they started to complain about the circumstances and events that led them to where they were and started to demonstrate severe paranoia. They stopped talking to each other and began alternately whispering to the microphones and one-way mirrored portholes. Oddly, they all seemed to think they could win the trust of the experimenters by turning over their comrades and other subjects in captivity with them. At first, the researchers suspected that this was an effect of the gas itself. After 9 days, the first of them started screaming. He ran the length of the chamber repeatedly, yelling at the top of his lungs for 3 straight hours. He continued attempting to scream but was only able to produce occasional squeaks. The researchers postulated that he had physically torn his vocal cords. The most surprising thing about this behavior is how the other captives reacted to it, or rather, didn't react to it. They continued whispering to the microphones until the second of the captives started to scream. The two non screaming captives took the books apart, smeared page after page with their own ugh, and pasted them calmly over the glass portholes. Oh my gosh! The screaming promptly stopped. Okay. Okay, Alex, thank you for dropping by. So did the whispering to the microphones. After 3 more days passed, the researchers checked the microphones hourly to make sure they were working, since they thought it impossible that no sound could be coming with 5 people inside. The oxygen consumption in the chamber indicated that all must still be alive. In fact, it was the amount of oxygen 5 people would consume at a very heavy level of strenuous exercise. On the morning of the 14th day, whoa, 14th day already! The researchers did something they said they would not do to get a reaction from the captives. They used the intercom inside the chamber, hoping to provoke any response from the captives they were afraid were either dead or vegetables. They announced, "We are opening the chamber to test the microphone. Step away from the door and lie flat on the floor or you will be shot. Compliance will earn one of you your immediate freedom." To their surprise, they heard a single phrase in a calm voice response. "We no longer want to be freed." Oh, thank you, Kevin! To the surprise, they heard a single... Okay. Debate broke out among the researchers and the military forces funding the research. Unable to provoke any more response using the intercom, it was finally decided to open the chamber at midnight on the 15th day. The chamber was flushed of the stimulant gas and filled with fresh air, and immediately voices from the microphones began to object. 3 different voices began begging, as if pleading for the life of loved ones, to turn the gas back on. Huh? The chamber was opened and soldiers sent in to retrieve the test subjects. They began to scream louder than ever, and so did the soldiers when they saw what was inside. 4 of the 5 subjects were still alive, although no one could rightly call the state that any of them in life. The food ration past day 5 had not been so much as touched. They were chunks of meat from the dead test subjects' thighs and chest stuffed into the drain in the center of the chamber, blocking the drain and allowing 4 inches of water to accumulate on the floor. Precisely how much of the water on the floor was actually blood was never determined. All 4 surviving test subjects also had large portion of muscle and skin torn away from their body. The destruction of flesh and exposed bone on their fingertips indicated that the wounds were inflicted by hand, not with teeth, as the researchers initially thought. Closer examination of the position of angles of the wounds indicated that most of, if not all of them, were self-inflicted. The abdominal organs below the ribcage of all 4 test subjects have been removed. Huh? While the heart, lungs, and diaphragm remained in place, the skin and the most of the muscles attached to the ribs have been ripped off, exposing the lungs through the rib cage. All the blood vessels and organs remained intact. They had just been taken out and laid on the floor. Fanning out around the eviscerated but still living bodies of the subjects, The digestive tract of all four could be seen to be working, digesting food. It quickly became apparent that what they were digesting was their own flesh that they had ripped off and eaten over the course of days. Most of the soldiers were Russian special operatives at the facility, but still many refused to return to the chamber to remove the test subjects. They continued to scream to be left in the chamber and alternately begged and demanded that the gas be turned back on, lest they fall asleep. To everyone's surprise, the test subjects put up a fierce fight in the process of being removed from the chamber. One of the Russian soldiers died from having his throat ripped out. Another was gravely injured by having his tooth ripped off and an artery in his leg severed by one of the test subject's teeth. Another 5 of the soldiers lost their lives if you count ones that committed suicide in the weeks following the incident. Ugh! In the struggle of one of the 4 living subjects had his spleen ruptured and he bled out almost immediately. The medical researchers attempted to sedate him, but this proved impossible. He was injected with more than 10 times the human dose of morphine, derivative morphine, what is that? And still fought like a cornered animal, breaking the ribs and arms of one doctor. When heart was seen to beat for a full 2 minutes after he had bled out to the point there was no more air in the vascular system than blood. Even after it stopped, he continued to scream and flay for another 3 minutes, struggling to attack anyone in reach and just repeating the word more over and over, weaker and weaker, until he finally fell silent. The surviving 3 test subjects were heavily restrained and moved to a medical facility, the 2 with intact vocal cords continuously begging for the gas, demanding to be kept awake. The most injured of the 3 was taken to the only surgical operating room that the facility had. In the process of preparing the subject to have his organs placed back within his body, it was found that he was effectively immune to the sedative they had given him to prepare him for the surgery. He fought furiously against his restraints when the anesthetic gas was brought out to put him under. He managed to tear most of the way through a 4-inch wide leather strap on one wrist, even though the weight of a 200-pound soldier was holding that wrist as well. Woo! Superpowers! It took only a little more anesthetic than normal to put him under, and the instant his eyelids fluttered and closed, his heart stopped. What? Why? In the autopsy of the test subjects that died on the operating table, it was found that his blood had tripled the normal level of oxygen. His muscles that were still attached to his skeleton were badly torn, and he had broken 9 bones in his struggle to not be subdued. Most of them were from the force his own muscle and exerted on them. Whoa, he became a super... He had super strength. Hello, Trex. Hello, Jared. The subject became gods or something, yeah. Well, the second survivor had been the first of the group of 5 to start screaming. His vocal cords destroyed, he was unable to beg or object to surgery, and he only reacted by shaking his head violently in disapproval when the anesthetic gas was brought near him. He spook his head yes when someone suggested reluctantly that they try the surgery without anesthetic, and did not react for the entire 6-hour procedure of replacing his abdominal organs and attempting to cover them with what remained of his skin. The surgeon preceding stated repeatedly that it should be medically possible for the patient to still be alive. One terrified nurse assisting the surgery stated that she has seen the patient's mouth curl into a smile several times whenever his eyes met hers. No, no, When the surgery ended, the subject looked at the surgeon and began to wheeze loudly, attempting to talk while struggling. Assuming this must be something of drastic importance, the surgeon had a pen and pad fetched so the patient could write his message. It was simple. Keep cutting! Yuck! The other two subjects were given the same surgery, both without anesthetic as well, although they had to be injected with a paralytic for the duration of the operation. The surgeon found it impossible to perform the operation while the patients laughed continuously. Once paralyzed, the subjects could only follow the attending researchers with their eyes. The paralytic cleared their system in an abnormal short period of time, and they were soon trying to escape their bonds. The moment they could speak, they were again... Wait guys, my sister's here. Ay, di ka nalang narinig kasi minute ko.
Hi, hello.
I want boba. Huh? Dingo tea is okay. Ate! Kiwi! Kiwi! Okay. My sister's gonna buy me boba. How are we sure that they're not the same person? I don't know. Yes! Okay. Okay, where am I? Where did I stop? The moment they could speak, they were again asking for stimulant gas. Okay. The researchers tried asking why they had injured themselves, why they had ripped out their own guts, and why they wanted to be given the gas again. Only one response was given. I must remain awake. All three subjects' restraint were reinforced and they were placed back into the chamber, awaiting determination as to what should be done with them. The researchers, facing the wrath of their military benefactors for having failed the stated goals of their project, considered euthanizing the surviving subjects. Their commanding officer, a former KGB agent, I don't know what KGB agent is, instead saw potential and wanted to see what would happen if they were put back on the gas. The researchers strongly objected but were overruled. Okay, I'm curious as well. In preparation for being sealed in the chamber again, the subjects were connected to an EEG monitor and had their restraints padded for long-term confinement. To everyone's surprise, all three stopped struggling the moment it was let slip that they were going back on the gas. It was obviously that at this point all three were putting up a great struggle to stay awake. One of the subjects could speak while was humming loudly and continuously. The mute subject was straining his legs against the leather bonds with all his might. First left, then right, then left again for something to focus on. The remaining subject was holding his head off his pillow and blinking rapidly. Okay? Oh my gosh, I can imagine this. Having been the first to be wired for EEG, most of the researchers were monitoring his brain waves in surprise. They were normal most of the time, but sometimes flatlined inexplicably. It looked as if he were repeatedly suffering from brain death before returning to normal. As they focused on papers crawling out of the brainwave monitor, only one nurse saw his eyes slip shut. At the same moment his head hit the pillow, his brainwaves immediately changed to that of a deep sleep, then flatlined for the last time as his heart simultaneously stopped. Huh? The only remaining subject that could speak started screaming to the sealed in now. What? It's so weird. They wanted a gas and then die? Oh, okay. Thank you. His brainwaves showed the same flat lines as one who had just died from falling asleep. The commander gave the order to seal the chamber with both subjects inside, as well as the 3 researchers. One of the named 3 immediately drew his gun and shot the commander point blank between the eyes, then turned the gun on the mute subject and blew his brains out. What? He pointed his gun at the remaining subject, still restrained, to a bed as the remaining members of the medical and research team fled to the room. I won't be locked in here with these things, not with you, he screamed. And the man trapped to the table. What are you? He demanded. I must know. The subject smiled. Have you forgotten so easily? The subject asked. We are you. We are the madness that lurks within you all, begging to be free at the moment in your deepest animal mind. We are what you hide from in your beds every night. Huh? We are what you sedate into silence and paralysis when you go to the nocturnal haven where we cannot tread. The researcher paused, then aimed at the subject's heart and fire. The EEG flatlined as the subject quickly choked out, so nearly free. Hello, Azalea! So what is it? Like the subconscious mind broke out? Like took over the mind of the subjects? Something like that? While there is a number of images associated with the RLE and the story is of an event rather than about an individual or character, there is one image that is well known and commonly linked to the story and which most fans will instantly recognize. The image shows a humanoid creature staring blankly into the camera. The figure is horribly emaciated, a fact that further emphasized by the extent to which the eyes are sunken back into the sockets. So basically, they claim to be entities that dwell in the subconsciousness of human minds and they cannot enter your state of sleep and dreams. Now I want to research what will really happen if you don't sleep. Scholars of folklore pointed out stories' effectiveness and viral spread to the attributed believable lab NBT anxieties within society around issues such as the horror of war, blah blah blah, but within a blah blah blah. Real life influences, while many creepypasta clearly blah blah unsettling and horrifically plausible, blah blah, by suggesting that the events recounted took place in the late 1940s. Blah blah. Blah blah blah. They became gods or like the real user of the subject's brains. Oh, that's why they are stronger. Unlocking more brains capacity. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hello, Lester. If you don't sleep for around 11 days, which is no record as far as I know, you'll die. Ooh, makes so much sense. Raimon, yahara. Tita, sabi ko sa inyo, horror stream 3 a.m. Well, it's currently 8 p.m. here at my place, so I guess that's fine. Okay, I'm tired, but let's read one last story for the day. And actually, yesterday, keep on saying that I will be playing FNAF today. But when I checked my schedule, it was actually Creepypasta story reading. And then tomorrow is, I promise, is the FNAF. Yes. I'm gonna go sleep deprived myself so I can become a god. No! Hoshi is like, if I haven't sleep for like 12 hours, I'll be like super blank. I have to sleep every 12 hours. At least. Like I sleep at night, I sleep at noon. Yeah. No! I wonder how scary is FNAF. I wonder. I am not excited though. Bruh, just me not sleeping for even more than a day, I'm already high. Right? Right? There was one time that I had to stay awake for 24 hours. I was like sleepy dead. Like, I don't know, I just remember sleeping. I fell asleep on a table. I mean, while crouching on a table. It was when I was eating. Yeah, I totally cannot stay awake. On a scale of 1 to 10, the scary meter of FNAF is 12. Oh my gosh, really? Which one is more scary? Outlast or FNAF? Hello, Mortricia. Yeah, hello. Yeah, most probably the very first one. To fell asleep on a table. No. Outlast, no question. Oh, okay. Okay, Will. Oh, okay. Okay. In a scale of 1 to 10, how scary is Outlast? And is... Wait, what is the other scary game? Is it Visage? Visage and Fatal Frame. I've played it hardest difficulty and it scared my whole existence. 8.5 out of 10. Ooh. Oh, FNAF is more scarier for you, Nico the Meat? Is there a different part of FNAF? 1 to 10. Outlast 1 or 2 is 15. Ooh! Outlast is 16 out of 10? the game that I'll play next year Halloween. Ding! I will have to train one more year to be able to play Outlast. Probably. Ooh! Looks like Outlast is the final boss. I see. Scary! I don't wanna play it at all. But for FNAF Security Breach, the upcoming one is like Outlast. Ooh! If you want the full horror, Layers of Fear. Wow! Okay, never mind. I don't know what that game is. You didn't type anything. I didn't see anything. Okay. I wonder what should I read. Oh, thank you, Neo-san. Hello, Memrad. Thank you. Hoshi's final boss is FNAF VR and Security Breach. Oh, okay. That's more boss than Outlast. And for classics, Amnesia. I heard about Amnesia before, but never mind. Yes, last story for the day because I'm all ready. Oh, I actually have this. I actually have a drink already, a chocolate coffee mocha. Actually, mocha. Just mocha. Mm. 5 Nights at Hoshi. Is that scary? Yes, because I'm a demon. I will eat you. You give me blood. You give me all your blood. I love the ironic trend of making VTubers that don't like horror games play horror. That is so right. Is there a lot of VTubers who doesn't like horror? I feel like a lot of VTubers like horror games. And here I am. Never played a horror game or never watched a horror movie for a few years. It's been a while since the last time I've watched or played a horror. Started to play a lot of horror games. My goodness. I should just... Oh, actually, I saw Gura played Outlast. Hi, Skylabby, thank you for sharing. Outlast with a heart monitor. That is interesting. Interesting to see how fast my heart will be would beat. Probably 200. 5 Nights at Hoshi is 100 out of 10. Good thing you know. No, it's not scary because of Hoshi is a demon. It's because Hoshi doesn't do anything. She's too lazy. That's it! Is that too scary? If you haven't tried Day by Daylight, it's really fun. Well, some of my friends are asking me to play Dead by Daylight actually. So probably gonna play that soon. Is it scary? I forgot the gameplay though. Okay, last story of the day. Should I just listen? You know what? I'll try to listen instead. Is it more creepy, spooky if I listen instead? Is
Want
this
to make sure you never miss a new release from the official.
Used to
up.
count a couple of. How Fox has a weird way of.
It doesn't sound creepy.
You know how
his
Fox has
voice.
a weird way of counting Simpsons episodes? They refuse to count a couple of them, making the amount of episodes inconsistent. The reason for this is a lost episode from season 1. Finding details about this missing episode is difficult. No one who's working on the show at the time likes to talk.
I'd rather read it. I'd rather read it. I kind of don't understand them if I just listen. And then I'll try to make it more spooky. Okay. So, Tato! Ang cringe! Ayoko na! I'd rather just read it normally. Because it feels like it's cringe when I try to make my voice spooky. Okay. You know how Fox has a weird way of counting Simpsons episodes? They refuse to count a couple of them, making the amount of episodes inconsistent. Huh? The reason for this is the lost episode from season 1? Really? Well, I always it's always Simpsons has always been suspicious for me. Like they kind of show future events. Yeah, did you saw that meme, or is it like just a meme? Like they somehow able to show future events, which is really, really weird. Really, really creepy for me. That's why I don't like Simpsons. Finding details about this missing episode is difficult. No one who was working on the show at that time likes to talk about it. From what has been pieced together, the lost episode was written entirely by Matt Groening. Who's Matt Groening? Is he the original? During production of the first season, Matt started to act strangely. He was very quiet, seemed nervous and morbid. Mentioning this to anyone who was present results in them getting very angry and forbidding you to ever mentioning it to Matt. The episode's production given was 7G44. The title was Dead Bart. I like how cute the ghosts are. Oh, yeah. Why? Didn't spook you? They're ghosts. Supposed to spook you out. He's spooky desu. In addition to getting angry, asking everyone who was on the show about this will cause them to do everything they can to stop you from directly communicating with Matt Groening. At a fan event, I managed to follow him after he spoke to the crowd and eventually had a chance to talk to him alone as he was leaving the building. Scared of the kawaii ghost? Ooh. He didn't seem upset that I had followed him, probably expected a typical encounter with an obsessive fan. When I mentioned the lost episode, though, all color drained from his face and he started trembling. When I asked him if he could tell me any details, he sounded like he was on the verge of tears. He grabbed a piece of paper, wrote something on it, and handed it to me. He begged me never to mention the episode again. The piece of paper had a website address on it. It would rather not say what it was for some reasons you'll see in a second. I entered the address into my browser and I came to a site that was completely black except for a line of yellow text, a download link. I clicked on it and a file started downloading. Once the file was downloaded, my computer went crazy. It was the worst virus I've ever seen. System restore didn't work. The entire computer had to be rebooted. Before doing this though, I copied the file into a CD. I tried to open it on my empty computer, and as I suspected, there was an episode of The Simpsons on it. The episode started off like any other episode, but had very poor quality animation. If you've seen the original animation for Some Enchanted Evening, it was similar but less stable. The first act was fairly normal, but the way the characters acted was a little off. Homer seemed angrier, Marge seemed depressed, Lisa seemed anxious, and Bart seemed to have a genuine anger and hatred for his parents. Is it, Carbs? Is it effective? The episode was about the Simpsons going on a plane trip near the end of the first act. The plane was taking off. Bart was fooling around as you'd expect. However, as the plane was about 50 feet off the ground, Bart broke a window on the plane and was sucked out. At the beginning of the series, Matt had an idea that the animated style of the Simpsons world represented life, and that death turned things more realistic. This was used in this episode. The picture of Bart's corpse was barely recognizable. They took full advantage of it not having to move and made an almost photorealistic drawing of his dead body. Act 1 ended with a shot of Bart's corpse. When Act 2 started, Homer, Margie, and Lisa were sitting at the table crying. The crying went on, and it more pained and sounded more realistic, better acting that you would think possible. The animation started to decay even more as they cried, and you could hear murmuring in the background. This crying went on for all of Act 2. Act 3 opened with a title card saying 1 year had passed. Homer, Margie, and Lisa were skeletally thin and still sitting at the table. There was no sign of Maggie or the pets. They decided to visit Bart's grave. Springfield was completely deserted, and as they walked to the cemetery, the houses became more and more decrepit. They all looked abandoned. When they got to the grave, Bart's body was just lying in front of his tombstone, looking just like it did at the end of Act 1. Like that? Hello, Ark! Yes, Demon Lord! Correct! The family started crying again. Eventually, they stopped and just stared at Bart's body. The camera zoomed in on Homer's face. According to the summaries, Homer tells a joke at this part, but it isn't audible in the version I saw. You can't tell what Homer is using. The view zoomed out as the episode came to a close. The tombstone in the background had the names of every Simpsons guest star on them. Some that no one had heard of in 1989, some that haven't been on the show yet. All of them had death dates on them. The guests who died since, like Michael Jackson and George Harrison, the dates were when they would die. You can try to use the tombstone to predict the death of living Simpsons guest stars, but there's something odd about most of the ones who haven't died yet. All of their deaths are listed as the same date. I knew it! I knew it! Simpsons is suspicious as a hair. I knew it! I knew Simpsons can actually predict future. Well, no, really. Let me find that. Simpson predicting future. Just kidding. But I still believe. But I still don't like Simpsons. I still don't like Simpsons. Okay, like how? Okay. It doesn't show. Oh. Does that mean Simpsons author is genius? Genius indeed. Hydrate ka, thank you. I still have my mocha in here, and then my sister is gonna buy me it's gonna buy me another drink. Yes. There's a video pleasant in a good creepypasta history. Oh. Genius? Or does he have a genie to tell him the future? Ooh, spooky! When you watch a Simpson episode where an accident happens, then you see an extra that looks like you in it. No! Senso! Hello! This was fun. Maybe we can do Creepypasta Christmas special. Ooh! SCP? What is SCP? Okay, Larry! Larry Beard-san, just send me. Secure... Huh? Oh! Oh! Oh, really? Okay. Oh. But she will Trust the stories. Believe the stories. I believe the stories though. Paano pag ganun? Yung mga cartoons, my lost episodes. I wanna research about that now. SCP-001. Okay, let me take a note. Choto. Where's my sticky notes? Sticky notes. Okay. Brand new. SCP-001 610 352. I'm a scam genie. So I'm actually a demon. Demon that will suck your blood. Arr. Wow, you guys love this kind of stuff, huh? 352, scariest. One of the scariest. Ooh, okay. Don't forget LCP-000. The genie that cannot grant wishes. Ta-da! A lost SCP. Shh. The birthday one is good. Okay. 999. Also, there is also SCP-999, the lazy genie. Yes! You guys be quiet. Don't share that. Don't share about those lost SCPs. Everybody would know there's a scam genie and a lazy genie. 909, the Boba Genie. Is that true? That number is too small. Scam Genie SCP. Shh. Don't let anyone know. It's just between us. I'm hungry already. Yes! Mina, thank you so much! On coming on today's stream. SCP-069, the Simpsons scared Genie. Well, honestly, I'm really scared of Simpsons. I mean, not scared, but I don't like Simpsons because of I feel like it's demonic or something. No, really. That's why we never found her lamb in the Pacific Ocean. She was discovered at the SCP Shh. Hello, Shinda. Thank you so much for dropping by. You should traverse the stories of those SCPs. It's so fun to read and there are a lot of them online. Okay! I'll read one while I eat. Is it like scary like Creepypasta or creepy because it's like scientific stuff. I prefer SCP-313, the genie that is a croissant who's scared of Simpsons and scams wishes. Some creepy and some are wholesome. When you say wholesome, what does that mean? 713? Okay. 713. True! Some are downright disgusting, some are downright adorable. Huh? Why including adorable stuff? I see. Oh, 173. Scam. Scam! There are a lot of varieties. Oh, is there like love story as well? Like manhwa stories, reincarnation of a genie who became a scam genie, something like that. Teddy bear made out of human ears. Yucky doodle doo. Yucky doodle doo. Yucks. That sounds like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There could be, yeah. Oh, I see. So it is a variety of stuff. There's even more. Garfield is a horrific demon. No, we have a Garfield in our neighborhood. He or she is super fat. My neighbors feed them always. They make sure that they have this bowl where they put water and cat food, even though it's not their cat. Like it's a street cat or something. Pusang gala, ganon. Pusang gala. Coffee machine one is interesting. Oh, there is an SCP where I suspect where COVID comes from. I'm looking at you, 049. Kuriepe! 049. Not 409? I haven't had dinner yet. That's why I'm hungry. Okay. Thank you so much, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed me reading random stuff in the internet. Hopefully. In a cringe way. Reading random stuff from the internet in a cringe way. Yes, that is today's stream episode. I'm hungry. Thank you so much, everyone, and I will see you guys tomorrow. FNAF. Otoshi. You guys make sure to eat your lunch too, because I'm about to eat my dinner. I'm so hungry. Otoshi. Eat well and have a nice Saturday. Bye bye. I love you too. I love you guys. Mwah, 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 mwah. Give me all your blood. Bye bye. Give me blood. 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 Do demons really ask for blood? Or sacrifice? Or I don't know. Actually, that's a vampire, right? Anyway, thank you so much. Babushka Dimash.